From the 22 News Plus studio, this is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of In Focus. I am your host, Patrick Berry. We're here in the 22 News Plus studios. We are having a fun conversation today. Judy, Matt from the Spirit of Springfield is across the desk from me, and we are absolutely having a fun conversation about all the wonderful things that you can do in and around the greater Springfield area throughout the year. Judy, thank you for carving out some of your time to come join me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So for those folks who don't know what Spirit of Springfield is, what is it?
Well, years ago, we started as an organization called MOCA, Mayor's Office of Community Affairs. And the main reason that was developed was to do things to promote community events and encourage civic pride and so forth. And then it evolved into the Spirit of Springfield. And what we do on an annual basis is try produce event that bring people together and at very little or no cost. And it's mostly to promote community events, encourage civic pride by giving people an opportunity for a celebration. Simple as that.
So, it's the name is Spirit of Springfield, but it's not just Springfield.
Oh, no.
You bring in people,
Oh, no.
yeah, and you think of Bright Nights or Star Spangled Springfield, any of the events you do, Pancake Breakfast. These are people that come in from the region. I mean, people travel a distance to come enjoy the things that you do every year.
Well, the Pancake Breakfast alone, we invite every community in Hampden County to participate. We send out 65,000 breakfast tickets.
Wow.
Every school tells us what they want, and then our good friends, the AMR, they go drive them around to other schools.
Fun.
It just happens to occur here.
Right.
But it's just we invite everyone to come. And again, Bright Nights, we've had 7 million people. And that 7 million people are sure a lot more people than just Springfield, and really from all over the New England area.
Bright Nights is a classic. It's been happening every year for more than 30 years, and each and every single year it gets a little bit better.
Yeah, Bright Nights is extraordinary. Pat Sullivan came upon the idea, called me. "What do you want to do this, Judy?" "Sure, let's try." Oh boy, we never knew what we were getting ourselves into.
And how many lights are set up?
750,000 light bulbs.
750,000 light bulbs.
Right, light bulbs, and all of those, and all the scenes. And it's 3.5 miles long. Just the roadway lighting that goes along the route. Just that alone, there's 7 miles of it.
Wow.
And our fellows came up with that idea, and they have to, of course, drive rebars into the ground to.
Yep. That's
do
why they do all that prep work before the ground freezes.
So much work right before it freezes. Same thing. It's very difficult to remove, when it gets really cold. But what a crew I have.
Absolutely.
The park department's my partner. They have been for 31 years. And of course, we couldn't do it without them.
You mentioned earlier that Spirit of Springfield started as sort of an offshoot of the mayor's office.
Exactly.
Is it still that, or is
No.
it an independent?
No, we are totally independent. We're a 501c3. And, people think we're funded by the city. We don't get any allocation whatsoever from the city.
Really? So none of what you do is funded by the city of Springfield?
Nothing.
So how do you generate the funds to do everything?
We do a lot of fundraising.
Okay.
We do grant writing and so forth. And just so you know, there's only 4 of us in the office. And people think we have this big staff. But all of the product for the pancake breakfast is donated. Hundreds of gallons of batter, 1,000 pounds of bacon. Just think of the milk.
Right.
Hundreds of gallons of milk and orange juice, all of that. And all of the volunteers that help to serve all the products and so forth are there as well. The only thing we have to pay for is the tables, tents, chairs, and Michael's Party Rental has kept the same price for more than 25 years.
Really?
You see, and it's just his cost to deliver and so forth. But that gives you an idea. But if you come downtown during the holiday season, you'll notice all these beautiful lights on Main Street. We have lights all the way from the south end to the north end. We wrote a grant for $400,000 to do that, because if we didn't do it, who would?
Right. Exactly.
So
the city can't.
The city certainly
do
can't.
That. Right.
So if you see them, they're spectacular. And so we wrote the grant to do those, and that includes getting the product, installing them with great electricians, Northrop,
Right.
and then taking them down,
Yeah.
rebulbing them, storing them, installing them again. People just don't realize what it takes. They don't just go up there, but it's a lot. So my point is that was $400,000, and that paid um, everyone and for storage and for the electrical. So we get so much in kind, but we raise about 500,000 a year, and through all different sources.
I'm pulling up some video now of the Bright Nights Ball, which happens every fall,
Mhm.
and that is a major source of fundraising, not just for Bright Nights, but for things that the Spirit of Springfield does throughout the year. Correct?
Right. The Bright Nights Ball was something that Peter Picnelli Sr. asked to do years ago because it was being done in some other communities. And I said, sure, we can do that. And we'd get a major sponsor every year. And then in addition, people pay handsomely to come to the event, but
Right.
it's very expensive to produce that event. And it is an income producer. Without Bright Nights, we couldn't exist. And
Wow.
when we were in the throes of the pandemic, we came very close to not being able to do Bright Nights. And the chair of my board went to the governor and got permission for us to do Bright Nights. And
So you think that was December, November, December 2020, right in
that's
the
right.
throes of
And let
COVID.
me tell you something. Within a matter of a couple of weeks, thought we were going to have to not produce it, and it was all set up.
Right.
And by doing hands free, that's why everything is on a website now,
Yeah.
because it was hands free. We were able to do it, but we had to make a lot of changes within the park. We couldn't open the gift shop areas. We had to add additional restrooms. There's lots of things.
Right.
All my people had to be spaced
Yep.
between each other,
Exactly.
and we had to use 2 different areas for them so that we would follow all the rules. And you know what happened? The first day, I found out that night that somebody had COVID. I'll never forget
Uh,
calling Helen Calton, who's the
yeah.
health commissioner. I said, Helen, what's the matter? Judy, what's the matter? I said, one of my people has COVID. And he said, well, you just have to be sure you isolate them and
Yep.
have them leave and just keep a constant check. So I was just so afraid because if we didn't do Bright Nights, the Spirit of Springfield would have closed
Exactly.
because that's what throws off all the money to do almost everything else
Wow.
for the,
Wow.
as you call the G&A for the,
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
for doing all the, the staffing. But the rest of things, like the pancake breakfast, there's no income. The 4th of July, there's no
No
income.
income. Right.
Mass Mutual is a big funder of it, but then there's nothing for operations.
Right. Right.
That's how it is with everything.
We are up on our first commercial break, and we've only touched the tip of the iceberg on what Spirit of Springfield does. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of In Focus. Judy Matt from the Spirit of Springfield is across the desk from me.
Mhm.
We, in the first portion of this conversation, we barely touched the tip of the iceberg of all the wonderful things that Spirit of Springfield does. And I think it's important to note, Judy pointed it out, that this Spirit of Springfield exists based on the generosity of the community. This really has nothing to do with the city of Springfield, other than some of the events take place in Springfield. The city of Springfield doesn't
Financially
support anything. So, like, the money you raise at Bright Nights goes to pay for the cops that you see at Bright Nights. That goes for the employees. Similarly with Pancake Breakfast, you got to block off streets. So the money raised at other events throughout the year, the golf tournament, Bright Nights, whatever it might be,
Right.
pays for all of that. The city of Springfield does not give anything away. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, but most cities don't have an organization like ours,
Right.
and that's our mission. If if that wasn't our mission, they'd have to be having someone do these events. But it's such an expectation now that they're going to occur,
Right.
and you know, the city will give us police during the pancake breakfast
Mhm.
because they consider it like one of their major events, and they do all the police and the fire and for the 4th of July. That's their participation.
Right.
But the other things we do pay because you can't expect to get these things from the city.
Exactly.
Cities can't afford that. Cities can't afford to shoot off, $50,000 worth of fireworks in 20 minutes.
Right.
They can't
Right.
afford that. So thank goodness for people that can afford it.
Let's talk a little bit about the Star Spangled Springfield that happens in the 4th of July time period each summer. It's more than just fireworks, right?
Here we have, we have entertainment there prior to it. We have a band always, and we're very lucky to get the support of American Medical Response and the police and the DPW and the fire to support the event. But there's activities that go on, face painting, all kinds of things for children, and we're very lucky to get the flyover from Barnes. And it's
And
just a community. It's like my favorite event.
there are things happening with it's Riverfront Park, right? That's where
Correct.
everything's sort of
Correct. Yeah.
main base.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, you think about fireworks, you can see them from Forest Park, you can see them from Sumner Avenue, West Springfield, Agawam.
Yeah. You see them from all over. It's because of the height of the bridge,
Right.
as we shoot them off the bridge, and that's why people in West Springfield they go around the circle there,
Yeah.
and we're grateful. We're grateful that so many people get to enjoy it. Even where the Springfield Country Club is up in
Oh,
West
yeah. Right.
Springfield, it's a great view
It's funny you bring them up. I think they do a party every year
every year.
on their patio.
Yeah, yeah,
So what a great vantage point.
that's a great spot. Yeah, yeah. But it's that's like one of my favorite events because everyone's like proud and they had great music and all,
Right.
and it's we're just very grateful we're able to do these things.
And it brings people together, which is sort of, the point of Spirit of
Yeah,
Springfield
yeah,
is just bringing people, get them out of their homes.
that's right.
COVID was a separate story, but get people out of their homes for 30 years and enjoy each other's company, enjoy all the things that Spirit of Springfield offers all year
Well,
long.
one of your reporters captured a father with his children at the pancake breakfast and waiting in line, and he said to them, "Isn't it great we could all sit down with each other and forget about everything else, and
I know.
especially the way things are so tense these days." But I just thought, that was such a great little piece. You know, we forget our differences and sit down together, and have breakfast together. So that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about Bright Nights, the Bright Nights Ball, Star Spangled Springfield. What are some of the other things that you put on throughout the year?
Well, the best thing,
And the pancake breakfast.
the most important thing, is the 9/11 memorial.
Huh?
That when we got a piece of the seal from the World Trade Center, and we will continue to have that event. We have done uh, a salute to them, a remembrance ceremony from the next year following um, the catastrophe, and this will be the 25th anniversary.
Right.
And so we're working on that. But that's like I think that's our proudest moment. Because someone said to me, actually, my board chairman, he said, someday there may not be a pancake breakfast. Someday we may not do
Yeah.
the fireworks, but that monument will always be there. So that's so important to us.
Well, and not only that, it's not behind a gate.
No,
That piece of steel from World Trade Centers, anyone, and I've done it. I've walked up and touched it.
Yeah.
And then to see the names etched in bronze right like that,
amazing.
it hit everybody. I mean, it was an emotional time for everyone. But to your board person's point, that will be there forever.
Well, we needed to have like a platform to explain what it was,
Right.
and we were getting it from the same people, the designers that did the monument itself, and we needed to raise, I don't know, 20 some odd $1,000. And Frank Colicino
Mhm.
and John Schoberg, my two board members, they got on the phone, and in 2 days they raised $78,000.
Holy smokes!
And that is going to go to keep the piece up,
Right. Right.
to maintain it because but people recognize the importance and the value of that,
Right.
and that's why they were willing to give. Plus, it was who was calling. But so anyway, that's my. I don't want to say my favorite thing. My favorite thing is the 4th of July, but
Right.
the most important thing
It's
is
like, which is your
9/11.
favorite child?
Yeah, right.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Each one has its
Yeah.
own uniqueness
Yeah.
and what it brings to the community. I did, one thing that just came to mind. Did we discontinue the big balloon parade at Thanksgiving?
Yes,
That just seems very cumbersome to do.
well, we would open Bright Nights on Wednesday night. The parade would be the day after Thanksgiving. There's a
The
lot going
Friday,
on,
right?
but that's not why. The the helium costs got so extraordinary, and we would
Oh,
be able
yeah.
to do it for about 12,000 to fill to fill the balloons, and that cost went to the high 40s.
Oh,
And now you probably do know, or many of your listeners probably know, that helium is a finite resource,
yeah.
you know? And it's the fact that we would fill balloons 2 miles down the street, we would release all that into the air. It's primarily used, as you may know, for MRI machines.
Oh, that I
Yeah.
didn't know.
So I could raise the money to do that parade. I know I could.
Right.
But the fact is, what's the balance here?
Right.
We take this and waste all that?
Yeah.
No, we tell you we go round and round about that because you won't want to take anything away.
Yeah. Right.
And so we had to. So
But
we
it's an
talked.
evolution.
Yeah.
The spirit of Springfield is constantly evolving.
So we were looking at cold air inflatables.
Okay.
We looked at many things, believe me, because we didn't want to take anything away from from the residents of the region.
Right.
But you probably won't be. If we do, believe me, we have the Cat in the Hat, a 60-foot long balloon in storage.
Right.
We own that. We
That's
paid for
funny.
that. We talk about it a lot, but right now it's just not in the picture.
And we're up on our next commercial break. And when we come back, we will talk about the evolution of the spirit of Springfield and what you can expect from the organization coming up in the future years. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of In Focus. I am your host, Patrick Berry. Sitting across the desk from me today is Judy Matt. She is the president of the Spirit of Springfield. Judy, again, thank you for joining me. I would be remiss if we didn't bring up some of the fun things that the children can expect each year at Bright Nights. You brought the 2025 gift with you. What do we have here?
We have Poppy the Pony.
Okay.
And Poppy will come in a box with a book. We've done books. We've done
each year you do a book.
Yeah, this was last year. This was Pablo.
Okay.
Pablo. We've done it every year. But this year, what's different about it is we were looking for a horse.
Okay.
And look at this. We were looking for a horse. We called the sheriff's office.
And they have looked a little higher. There you go. There's some sheriff's office employees with that's a comfort pony, right?
That's a comfort pony.
That's funny.
And we said, oh God, we actually wrote him in to the book because when are you going to, it's amazing. So he's going to make special visits at Bright Nights.
Nice.
He's going to give a hoof printout to the children. It's just all fun.
That's one of the many things you do each year to keep Bright Nights, to spice it up, make it interesting. So it's not repetitive every single year. It keeps people coming back. And you have to do that as an organization. Sure. You have to reinvent yourself periodically. What's next for Bright Nights?
Well, this year we have an exciting new edition of Bright Nights. People say, what are you going to do new? What are you going to do new? Well, the investment is significant, and to do something new is very costly. So we have a beautiful new tree that's coming into the gift shop area, which is right where the zoo is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been to Bright Nights and you've seen those very huge candles that we have at the exit, well, the tree is 10 foot taller than that.
Wow.
The tree is 50 foot. It's got 4,700 light lines. It changes. And
is it like a digital LED tree?
Yes.
Okay.
Part of it. Yes. And so when it's not doing all these activities, it's just a beautiful tree with ornaments on it. But then it goes into this mode where it plays music and it's synchronized, and it's outstanding, and people are going to love it.
Is this an item that Spirit of Springfield has purchased, or is it a rental that you have just for this year?
No, we bit the bullet and bought it, and it's being built as we speak.
Okay.
And it's going to be spectacular. And we bought, where Santa lives, we bought a new Santa cottage that's going to be delivered in 2 weeks with a little porch on it.
Nice.
And Western New England University, with their augmented reality department, has created something that if you're going to go with your camera to QR code, and all of a sudden you're going to have snow falling on your head, and you're going to have an elf's hat.
How cool
and they've been
is
just
that?
Great. So we have that whole area is going to be full of fun this year.
Good. So now, as we look at Spirit of Springfield into 2026, 2027, and beyond, what are you and your team working on that that is exciting? That's, maybe something you haven't done before.
Well, something new and exciting that was just announced is that we pulled people together to say that what we had in common and how we could help each other.
Mhm.
And there's a group of people, including the Mass Mutual Center, MGM Springfield, the Hall of Fame, us, of course, the Business Improvement District, the Springfield Museums, the Symphony Orchestra, Symphony Hall, the Thunderbirds, and White Lion Brewing. And we had an awful lot in common, but everybody was in their own area
Mhm.
doing their own thing. Now,
Makes sense.
these are top professionals. We
Right.
had all their marketing people. We started out with what I thought was going to be 9 people, turned out to be 21.
Wow.
And we've met 7 times to date, trying to see how we can pull this together. Well, everyone has thrown in all their assets, and the assets are significant. We have nearly 400,000 newsletters that go out a month. We have television screens. We have so much. And during the month of the end of November and the beginning of December, we have selected a 2-week period. And during that 2-week period, we're going to hammer hard everything that's going on in Springfield. There are 34 events in a 14-day period.
Wow.
It's just extraordinary what we have going on. But people, this way here, we're all pulling it together, and you're going to be knocked out with it. You're going to be knocked out with what we
And
have.
what is this? Is it a new campaign that you're working on?
It's a new campaign, and it's called, again, it's all volunteer,
Right.
but it's going to be called We Love Springfield. It's got a great vision to say that we showcase the love that shapes Springfield, bringing people together to inspire joy and connection. A Springfield where pride runs deep, driven by shared passion and full of possibility. It's just, I didn't come up with this. You think
This is
Judy
the
Mack
group came up
this
with
is the
this.
group that came up with this. And every week, let me tell you, it's quite a process when you have 18, 21 people that are all experts in their field
Right.
trying to come to a consensus.
Right.
But we've got a new logo, we've got that tagline, we have our own website. And so we're going to be hammering very hard. You're going to hear an awful lot about this. And so actually your viewers are probably the first to know.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Judy, I can't thank you enough for giving me some of your time today just to
you.
hear about everything that Spirit of Springfield does
Thank you.
and how you bring joy to literally hundreds of thousands of people each year. Thank you to you and your enormous staff of 3 others.
Yes, we love it. You know what? I don't know if we need more because we are so synced to
Right.
get everything done. But it's we just love doing it for everyone, and the gratitude is our payback.
Fantastic. Judy, thanks again. Good seeing you.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.